Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jin. He really wants to kill Nazis' graves. And today we are talking about episode 3.
Don't you tell her to start telling people all that?
What?
I said, don't you start telling people all that?
What, that you like to kill Nazis?
Yeah.
What's wrong with killing Nazis?
There might be some people back on my ancestral tree that have questions about that.
Oh, okay. But we are back with another episode of Creature Commandos. This one was fun. This one was a fun episode, I feel like. And it very much left me with a lot of feels, I feel like, in this particular episode.
Yeah.
Especially for GI Robot, I feel like.
Yeah. This seemed like a GI Robot dedicated episode.
I think they're all going to be kind of like that. And like they're going to be interspersed within like what's actually going on.
Yeah.
You know? But our episode starts out with the rest of the gang, the rest of the commandos getting to the house of Victor Frankenstein. The bride is tied up. Nina, is it Nina? The fish girl?
Yeah.
Nina Mazursky, that's what it is, yeah. She's nowhere to be found. And they're like, hey, where is everybody? It's a trap. And it's not a trap. They just left them there. We find out. Like, the bride is tied up, and Nina gets left up in, like, another room with barbed wire over, like, a filled tub of water. Which, who put her in the tub? I want to know.
It had to be one of the Themyscira boys.
Because they just put barbed wire over the top of it, and, like, they leave her in the tub. Like, you think they would kill her? Because they're bad guys? You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not as bad as we think.
Maybe not as bad as, like, you think they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really interesting to think about. So we end up leaving there to basically go. GI Robot goes to find his friend Nina, and he picks up the tub, brings it out. They all rush out because they find out, hey, this is like, it's not really a trap. Maybe it's a diversion, I feel like, to get them away from the castle. And they get to the castle. And this is where we get our first inkling of GI Robot's origin story, which is we see that he is fighting Nazis with Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. They're very much characters within the DC universe, which I was surprised that they were in this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't. Some of the pools that they took in this episode particularly, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I get that they would take Sergeant Rock, but he's not like he's not really like a really well-known character. And he's kind of not in this very much, but we see in gruesome fashion GI Robot kill all the Nazis, and he is so happy. He gets to kill Nazis with his new friends, the Easy Company. In gruesome fashion, I might add. Like, they were, oh my god, like, it was so bloody. So bloody, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Yeah. I feel like it is pretty cool in that sense too, especially where they started calling him Tin Man.
Yeah.
And it really seems like that was probably the biggest pivotal point of his life, because after that, like, what anybody said to him, he didn't really have like any other quotes until he got to the old man.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't copy anybody's stuff.
Yeah, he didn't copy anybody's stuff. He very much was like, we find out later on, like, he's like, what do you wish for? And he wants to go back and kill Nazis with his friends. Like, that gave him a meaning, it gave him a purpose, and that's one thing he, like, really liked doing was killing Nazis because he was programmed to do that.
Yeah.
Um, which I loved seeing, like, the glee of him killing Nazis and him just having fun killing these terrible, awful people. Like, he just had a smile on his face, you know, killing all the Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we transition from that back to the present. They're all trying to survive this attack from the Sons of Themyscira. They end up getting there, and they're kind of outnumbered, I feel like, at this point, for the most part.
The monsters.
Yeah, the monsters are a little bit ish,
Yeah.
kind of. I love this. I love the scene where the one guy grabs the grenade and like goes to use it, and then they like slide into him with their van, and like he blows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
I agree.
One other scene I really liked was when Dr. Phosphorus gets out and he like puts up like a fire shield thing and like dissolves all the bullets.
Yeah.
I was like, that scene is so well animated. Like,
Yeah,
just seeing them.
that was one of the other good things with this one about how the animation was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely was really good. Well, very high point, I feel like, of this particular episode. But what happens next?
So after the first time of GI Robot kind of like zoning out to remember, uh, you said they were called the Fun Company?
The Fun Company? Oh, the Easy Company. Easy
Easy
Company.
Company.
Yeah.
After that whole thing, then we kind of got where he jumped forward, where like a doctor got a hold of him like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And that whole part was kind of weird, like that the president was like, oh yeah, this was like revolutionary, and like they're still celebrating him like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And then almost like a circus freak, they kind of sell him off to the doctor.
Yeah, they like very much like parade him around like a thing. And he's like, you should really check the crowd for Nazis at one point. And he's like, no, I don't think there's no Nazis around here. And he's like, that's what a Nazi would say.
Yeah.
So like he's not very like a people person, to say the least. He's not.
This is true. Almost every time he went somewhere, I was like, okay, is this what got him into jail? Is this what got him into jail? Is this what got him into jail? And just waiting for it. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill these people. Nope. Oh my god, he's gonna kill the doctor.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. He doesn't kill him. And so like he ends up basically getting sold off to this doctor, and you have to pay very close attention, but he is also a pool from the DC Comics universe, and a very specific pool. I don't remember what his name is exactly. I want to say it's like Will or William something. I don't remember what his name is, but he is actually the creator of the Metal Men, who are a group of like a superhero android group of robots. And they all are like based on like there's like Mercury, Gold, I think Silver is one of them, or Platinum is one of them. Yeah. And so like he is studying GI Robot to find out how to make the Metal Men, which I find to be really interesting. Like that's a really interesting like thing to like bring in and add together, in a sense. Because like he even says like, oh, like I want to study you and this and that, and I'm going to kind of make some improvements on you, but I really don't really need you. I just want to study you to make something better. And he like kind of just uses GI Robot again. Like he ends up taking like half his body away. He just doesn't. He doesn't. I don't feel like he doesn't treat GI Robot very well. You know.
No, I mean he goes. I feel like we only saw him take the bottom half away,
Uh huh.
but I think he probably went through all of him.
They went through all of them.
Yeah, the doctor did.
Yeah.
Like he took
Yeah.
him apart like scrap by scrap
Uh
and
huh.
looked at all of it to tell like how to do that stuff.
Yeah. Which I mean, that's one thing I don't like. I don't like their treatment of GI Robot in this.
Yeah,
And he kind of just sits there and just kind of takes it because he only harms Nazis.
yeah.
So like he
Oh,
can't like do anything or say anything like I guess bad against humans or whatever. Um, it was
yeah.
really like go ahead.
He does have that whole robot thing where it's just like like in any like thing with a robot, like sci-fi media or anything else like that,
Yeah.
like they're all kind of that way. Like they don't experience it unless it's like has an AI behind it, which I thought was kind of a cool thing too. Because when he was talking to the doctor, he did bring up that he wasn't like human enough that he could like benefit from almost like an AI system, which was kind of weird that was brought up back in that day. But I mean, it's kind of
Mhm.
understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. Like, he has like the AI system and
Yeah,
he seems to like almost follow the three robot rules a little bit,
yeah,
kind of, not
yeah.
to like harm people and stuff like that. Even though he does harm people like a lot in this,
Not to harm normal people.
normal
Yeah,
people, yeah. And we get this really cool fight with like them and the sons of Cersei or whatever. What they're the sons of Cersei, right?
yeah.
The sons of Thanaskira. That's what they were. The sons of Thanaskira. And like they're trying to fight them, and GI Robot asks Rick Flag, Senior. He's like, "Are these Nazis?" And Rick kind of turns to him and gives him a smirk. And he's like, "Yeah, these are Nazis." And we find out he can like levitate and like fly and like detach his body. Which I
Yeah.
was like, I wonder if that's like a aftermarket thing or like he had that installed in him or if he always had that, you know?
Yeah, I think it was after.
Yeah, because he had the stilts thing in the beginning,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, where he could like grow tall with his like stilt legs, which I thought was cool. Like I thought it was cool, and his technique, his special technique is spin around real fast and shoot things, which I loved.
yeah.
I loved that. I thought that was funny. But we end up switching back to the past where we find out that GI Robot basically got sold off or donated to different facilities over the years.
He
And we
he
find,
became like a old piece of like World War II memorabilia.
yeah, yeah, like he got passed around from like science lab to science lab. Then he got passed around from like military collector to military like paraphernalia collector, basically.
Yeah.
Is what happens, and we find out he's at like this like what's that shop? What are those shops that
It's,
sell like only like old military
yeah.
stuff,
A military supply.
military supply like place, and there he's there like he's decommissioned, and this guy named Sam shows up, and Sam like takes him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun," and this is where I feel like this takes a turn, an interesting turn. I feel like
A
where
dark
we
turn.
a dark turn where like So Sam like takes him home, and we find out that Sam like lives alone. He has a bunch of cats, which I mean, plus on him, he's got cats, and he turns on GI Robot with giving him some gasoline, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's good to see you." Like he's like, "Oh yeah," like GI Robot says, "What's your rank?" And Sam's like, "Oh, I wasn't in the military. I couldn't serve because of my darn leg. You know how it is." And they just kind of hang out, and he shows them his like war memorabilia he has, and they watch war movies with the cats, which is kind of like like a wholesome scene, I feel like. And because he just hangs out with Sam, and Sam's a very like lonely guy. It's just him and his
Yeah.
cats. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah,
I kind of
go
feel
ahead,
like that's where he got his family part at, where he
yeah,
was like, "Oh, family," or "Oh, friend," like how he
yeah, old
kind of
friends,
always says like friend Nina.
yeah, friend Nina, yeah, yeah," which is interesting. And so like I really liked this scene because it was cute and it was fun. Like the cats all like laying on him, using him as like a bed or whatever, and them just sitting, hanging out, And Sam invites GI Robot to meet his friends, and he puts him in like a little hat and gives him like a jacket. And GI Robot's like, "I don't need that. I can relegate my temperature. It's okay." And so like they go out, and we kind of get this little conversation of them. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you're gonna meet my friends. It's all for like a good cause or whatever." And this is where, so I started to suspect stuff at this point. I was like, "Oh my god, what is this group?" Because they're kind of like an eclectic group. Like they all don't really look alike or
Yeah.
like dress alike. But you start to kind of pick up on it because one of the guys is very well dressed. He's like, "Oh, welcome to the cause." Like they're like, "Oh, we could use him for the cause." And I'm like, "Oh fuck." I was like, "Okay, okay, this is where we're turning. We're turning here." And like, I know it's probably not like a big surprise, but like,
Well, and like you're saying that, but it wasn't really like they were like Nazis.
yeah.
They were a history group, basically.
No, they were
Like,
like a hate group. They were like white supremacists.
I don't know if I got that from watching that.
One of them had a white power tattoo on his neck.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, one of them was dressed up in like a Nazi uniform. Yeah, they were a fucking neo-Nazi hate group, is what
It
they
kind of,
were.
it kind of, didn't I send it to you one time? The Wolfenstein thing.
What Wolfenstein thing?
It's like a meme. This guy's like, "Oh yeah, my granddad like loved Wolfenstein." He pulls out this chest and he's got like pictures of his
Oh yeah,
granddad with Hitler and like Nazi, and he's like, "Oh
yeah.
my god, my granddad loved
He
Wolfenstein." And
loves Wolfenstein.
his friends are like, "No, he was a Nazi," and he's not getting it. So it was
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. Which I mean, like you never get that vibe from Sam himself because you never see like any paraphernalia with Nazi stuff on it
No,
in his collection. We just think he's like a normal like history military buff, basically,
right.
is what he like gives it off. But no, they were like they once you get into more of like the crowd that they're a part of, like you start to see like the Iron Cross is there like tattooed on somebody, and they have like the chain tattoos and stuff, and like you start to piece it together, and then they finally show like the giant symbol in the background. I don't remember like what they were called. They had a specific name, and even GI Robot is like oh fuck, they're Nazis. So like what does he have to do? He has to kill all the Nazis. And that's what he does. He kills all the Nazis in the past and is killing the quote Nazis in the present. And we get this glorious montage of basically GI Robot brutally murdering these people. I don't know how you couldn't pick up on it that they were Nazis. Like,
I have no clue. Maybe I don't know all the symbols like you do.
okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
like, no, I get you. I get you, But yeah, they're other Nazis, and we find out that GI Robot gets tried as a human, as a person.
Which I thought was bullshit.
It is bullshit because GI Robot did a good thing. He took out these people who were probably planning to use him as a weapon, to be exact,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they used him against, say, like other groups or something like that, or other races. Like I wouldn't be surprised, but like they considered him a dangerous weapon who murdered like 31 people. I think it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was
Well,
crazy.
and my other question is, right? Did nobody ever
Uh-huh.
think to take the bullets out of him?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they thought he was like decommissioned and like didn't have bullets. I don't really know how like his anatomy works.
Yeah.
Like they had to put gas in him to power him up,
Right.
but did they put bullets in him too?
God, I have no clue. Damn it, Sam.
Damn, it was all Sam's fault. Sam, which
And
you think,
we
oh,
only thought Sam was a good guy.
oh, this robot was built to kill Nazis. Why would you take him to a place with a giant Nazi symbol? And then GI Robot has to like just kill them all. Cause like, that's what I got to do. That's what I'm programmed to do. Kill
Yeah.
all the Nazis. And then we see the sons of Cersei. They're kind of going through looking for. Is it Alana? Was that her name? The
Yeah, Alana.
princess.
Yeah.
Alana the princess. She gets woken up, and all her guards get murdered, and she barely makes it out of there. And we find out that she's pretty good with the weapon a little bit. Like she kills a couple of the guards, but Cersei is there. But we also forget Cersei kills GI Robot in the car in the battle that happens as well.
Yeah, and it's fast.
It's fast and it's out of fucking nowhere. And they are all shocked. Nina is heartbroken. And Nina ends up going to try to find GI Robot. I don't know if she's going to repair him later on. But
I had to watch that part twice.
you had to watch it twice?
Yeah, because I thought he like overheated.
Yeah. No, he didn't overheat. He didn't
Yeah.
overheat at all. But so Cersei gets there, and Ileana's like, "What? Like, I'll give you anything you want. What do you want?" And she's like, "I want you," basically. But who happens to show up? But Weasel. Weasel shows up and mauls the shit out of Cersei. Like, starts biting on her, ripping her flesh. Dr.
Yeah.
Phosphorus like makes like a joke. He's like, "Oh, I love a good barbecue," and like starts melting her face off.
Yeah.
And then like the bride is like, "You wanted monsters, Flag, you got monsters." Because like it's a brutal fucking scene of them just going to town on Cersei, which I feel like is rightly due
Yeah.
because she's kind of the bad guy so far of this show.
Yeah.
Like, and we flip the script, and she's like, "What have you fucking done? You destroyed us all," basically, and like that's where the episode ends.
Yeah.
So like, is she a bad guy? Technically,
Who knows?
we'll have to wait till episode 4 to find out, I guess.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
let me ask you.
Okay.
even though you didn't watch this episode until like 20 minutes ago when we started recording. What did you think of this episode?
It was good. I really liked this episode. And I mean, I like how some of the other stuff happened out of this episode. Um, compared to like part of the other ones, like
Mm-hmm.
knowing the bride's backstory was like fine, but then we get into GIs and it seems like it's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, like sure, like the bride like killed people or whatever, and she's got like Frankenstein that's trying to track her down at every like turn and them running around in
Mm-hmm.
history, but like nothing compared to like GIs, which I feel like is more tragic. And then actually, episode 4 of that story too. So
Well, I haven't watched episode 4 yet, so don't spoil episode 4.
that's why I wasn't. You're
But
welcome.
yeah, no. Thanks for not spoiling episode 4. Much appreciated. But yeah, no, it was a really good episode. A very sympathetic episode, I feel like it makes you feel for GI Robot, I feel like.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
you I feel like I grew to like love him as a character.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I go ahead.
and then you got to realize, like, almost like in that sense, like GI Robot had no feelings towards like any of that, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I would say he did care about his friends in Easy Company,
yeah,
and he cared about killing Nazis at that point. And then eventually he cared about, like, say, Nina. I would say he cared about Nina as well.
yeah,
Because he didn't really do much in jail. It seemed like he very much seemed to just sit there and let time pass.
that's true.
Waiting for that day to kill Nazis.
That's true. And I
Um,
question like why none of them actually went in to try and like solve that mystery of like why he did it.
oh yeah. That was interesting to see, like, why they didn't go into that and why he did it. Like, they just kind of like just basically tried him for murder and just convicted him of murder,
Yeah.
or was it manslaughter? I think it was. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, they
Well,
don't like go into much detail after that.
and like why they had to be giving him oil or gas or whatever like on a regular basis too
Mm-hmm.
in jail. So like why didn't they just kind of like let him get shut back off by not having the gasoline and stuff, and then
Yeah,
when they needed him pull him back out?
yeah, kind of like a Winter Soldier type of thing,
Yeah.
almost. Pull him back out when they needed him.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about it, like, there are technically no more Nazis after World War II, unless they
not
reprogrammed him.
not true
Like,
Nazis.
well, true Nazis, I guess you could say. Yeah, true Nazis. There's neo Nazis, but like, why did they just reprogram him to be like, oh, fight terrorists?
That's true too.
They just like stuck him in a fucking cell with a prison jumpsuit and some Crocs,
Yeah, they
which he
did.
doesn't need. He doesn't need shoes. He's a robot.
That's true too.
He doesn't need shoes. No, but I really love this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to get to the next episode. I wonder what the next episode is going to be exactly, like, or who it's going to focus on. So I know one of them is Dr. Phosphorus, but that's
Do
like an
you
episode or two down the road.
do you want to know that?
Who do they focus on?
Weasel?
Weasel? Okay, that's going to be fun, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like this. What would you rate it?
Oh shoot. Honestly, I feel like I'd give this one a 4.5.
Really? Because I would give it a solid 5.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
left me with a lot of feels, and like if you do that, like you're gonna get a high score.
Yeah.
Like I felt connected to GI Robot. He hates Nazis. I hate Nazis.
We have so much in common.
We have so much in common. I mean, come on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like this is a really good one. I kind of wonder if they, like we were talking about earlier, if they will try and bring him back at all in any
Oh yeah,
capacity.
bring him back. Yeah,
Yeah, or if he's
I mean
just gone.
they got to. Yeah, like I think they probably are gonna rebuild him. That's my
Yeah,
theory. Is they possibly rebuild him. So I mean, his parts were there. Like his brain was there, or his head. I guess you could say his head was there. You know,
yeah.
they could possibly give him a new body,
Maybe it's time for an upgrade.
an upgrade. Yeah,
Yeah,
an upgrade would be possibly nice. You know, maybe they'll give him like
maybe
the Terminator body.
maybe he can almost be like a Red Tornado.
Oh, that would be cool. But instead of spitting a tornado of bullets, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, no, I can't wait to get back to this and watch the rest of this. Like, I don't know why we fucking stopped like covering this, but I love this show.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just so much fun. I love the little pools like from DC's history and how they incorporated that. The action was fun. And the music choices were really good. Like, it was all top notch. I feel like.
yeah. I really like the cameos.
Yeah, the cameos are fun. The cameos are fun. I wonder if they're going to come back in any like capacity. Like, will like the Metal Man creator come back to build GI Robot or something? You know,
Oh
make him
yeah,
better.
he can
Yeah,
still be more.
maybe he'll become
Oh gosh,
a real boy who kills Nazis.
a
Yeah, that's it.
Nazi,
I feel like uh,
a real Nazi boy.
no, not a real Nazi boy. But yeah, I really like this one. It was a lot of fun. Um, uh, the story is moving along pretty well. Like I like how they go back and forth between the character and like what's going on in reality or in like in the current time.
Yeah,
That's one thing I like. They meld that so well, and I feel like especially with this episode, like it was really well done.
yeah. Well, and like I was saying, I think this one was just so much better because we actually got like more of this tragic backstory than like
Yeah,
um Dr. Frankenstein like sleeping with the bride and then having this weird across time like try and find you a relationship with regular Frankenstein and the bride.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's just more I felt like to connect with too.
yeah. I feel like there's more to connect with. Yeah. And I finally like it that we got to find out why GI Robot was in prison. Because I was like, there's got to be a reason why he was in prison. I mean, you think it was possibly like some war crimes or something, but no, he just killed a bunch of people. Even though
Yeah.
he killed a bunch of people in war times as well.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if he actually has like any affinity, kind of like Hellboy does to
Yeah.
cats.
Oh, that would be interesting to see. Yeah. Well, they might not explore that later on, but
Yeah, they probably won't.
probably won't explore that later on. But yeah, it was a fun episode. I want to say thank you for listening to the podcast. This was a little short episode, but yeah, a lot of fun. definitely go check it out. Let us know what you think of this episode. You can hit us up on all our podcast platforms, or leave us a review. That's how people find the podcast. And catch us on our Instagram at Talkology Podcast, I believe. And check out our YouTube channel where we started doing lives on our YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
See you next Tuesday.